Chapter 21 Zhao Wu, is that old guy from the Luo family not dead yet? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Time flies, in the blink of an eye. 3 more days passed. Qingshi town, the land of the Zhao family, in a slightly dimly lit room. Zhao Wu, the current head of the Zhao family, was sitting quietly on the throne. He calmly dealt with the pile of trivial family affairs on the table. Daddy, Daddy! Waves of loud shouts suddenly came from outside the room. Immediately afterwards, Zhao Qian, the young master of the Zhao family, trotted into this room. What's the matter? But the old guy from the Luo family is dead. But when Zhao Wu saw his son Zhao Qian in front of him, he hurriedly ran to his room. It seemed like there was something important to talk about, so, with a bit of expectation in his eyes, he asked in a low voice to Zhao Qian in front of him. No, that's not it. Zhao Qian shook his head repeatedly, and after taking deep breaths several times, he continued, it's that old guy Wang Kuan who said that all the medicinal materials previously supplied have been exhausted, and he wants to continue to ask Dad for refining the medicinal materials needed for the bodybuilding pill. Asking for medicinal materials, Zhao Wu couldn't help but frown slightly. Half a month ago, he gave the old guy Wang Kuan a lot of medicinal materials. However, within this half-month, but Wang Kuan only had 20 bodybuilding pills of extremely poor quality, then he could no longer provide enough income to the Zhao family. Now, Wang Kuan has run out of medicinal materials. He also wanted to ask his Zhao family for the medicinal materials needed to refine the bodybuilding pill. This time, Zhao Wu would not throw a large amount of medicinal materials to Wang Kuan without saying anything like last time. After all, it is better to waste these medicinal materials on Wang Kuan. It would be better to give these medicinal materials directly to the people in the Zhao family. Compared with the 20 bodybuilding pills of extremely poor quality, it is obvious that the benefits of taking those precious medicinal materials directly are several times greater. Okay, I understand this. You should step back first. After Zhao Wu was silent for a moment, he waved his hand to Zhao Qian in front of him and whispered. Seeing this, Zhao Qian lowered his head slightly. He also walked out of this room. Until Zhao Qian left, Zhao Wu in the room called another servant. He called over Wang Kuan, an old guy who was immersed in the art of alchemy. Head of the Zhao family, I wonder why you asked me to come here. After Wang Kuan entered the room, he first stretched out his hand and straightened his somewhat messy sleeves. Then, he looked at Zhao Wu, the current head of the Zhao family, with a somewhat casual expression. The medicinal materials required by Dr. Wang are quite large, and it will take some time for our Zhao family to collect them. Zhao Wu first made up a reason casually to delay Wang Kuan's desire to continue asking for medicinal materials to refine the bodybuilding pill. After that, there was a slightly questioning look on his face. He silently glanced at the old man in front of him, Wang Kuan, and asked in a low voice, besides this matter, I have one more thing that I would like to ask Dr. Wang for advice. What's the matter? Old Dr. Wang clearly said about half a month ago that the ancestors of the Luo family only have half a month left to live. But why? Half a month has passed now. But from the Luo family, there is no news about the death of Luo Changfeng, the ancestor of the Luo family. I want to ask Dr. Wang, why is this? After Zhao Wu asked this question, the atmosphere in the room suddenly became a little strange. No way, this is impossible. When Wang Kuan heard Zhao Wu's words, he looked puzzled at first, and then refuted him repeatedly. He has confidence in his own medical skills and his own judgment. Judging from his knowledge of the Luo family ancestor, that old guy will die in no more than half a month due to exhaustion of his lifespan. It is impossible to live for more than half a month, and since Zhao Wu, the head of the Zhao family, has said that, there is no news from the Luo family, then, there is only one possibility left. Head of the Zhao family, I, Wang Kuan, can never make mistakes in my judgment. The reason why there is no news from the Luo family. There is only one possibility, and that is because the Luo family concealed the news of the death of their ancestor. After such a possibility was mentioned, the somewhat tense atmosphere in the room suddenly eased a lot. Indeed, if things are really as what the old guy Wang Kuan said, it does seem that there is such a possibility. Nowadays, everyone can see the precarious situation of the Luo family. Almost everyone in the Luo family is well aware of the differences between the 3 brothers. The forces below want to take over, and the situation in Qingshi town wants to be reshuffled. One force needs to be Pushed out of the game, Zhao family, Hu family, and Jing family, these three parties are all established families in Qingshi town. Although the whole family may not be united, it can be said that the head of the family is in control of everything. Therefore, the possibility of these three major families being pushed out is extremely low, but the Luo family is different. The death of the ancestor of the Luo family is approaching, and half of his body has already been buried in the ground. Almost everyone knows about this. The three Luo family brothers and the three major factions are not aligned with each other. This matter has already been known to outsiders, the reason why this huge Luo family can be maintained until now. Most of the reasons are because the ancestor of the Luo family still exists in this world. If we say that the old man in the Luo family died suddenly, can the Luo family, known as Qingshi town and one of the four major families, continue to maintain the coexistence of the four major families in Qingshi town as it is now? There is obviously a big question mark at the back of this question, and under this situation, the Zhao family, one of the four major families in Qingshi town, took action against the Luo family. One can only imagine what will happen after that. When the wall falls, everyone pushes it. When the drum breaks, thousands of people beat it. When the Luo family was strong, perhaps no one would dare to provoke them. But if the Luo family shows signs of decline, there will be countless family forces that will stare at the Luo family and keep an eye on the Luo family. He even went so far as to bite off a piece of meat from the Luo family. Mr. Wang, are you sure your judgment will not be wrong? In the slightly dark room of the Zhao family, Zhao Wu was sitting quietly on the main seat, his face somewhat unclear under the shadow. He asked Wang Kun in front of him again. Head of the Zhao family, my judgment will not be wrong. I have said before that the old man from the Luo family will definitely die in less than half a month. Wang Kun stood in the room and answered with a very serious expression. Okay, if that's the case, then you should retreat first. As for the medicinal materials you asked for. As he spoke, Zhao Wu paused for a moment, as if hesitating on the pros and cons. After 7 days, I will have someone put those medicinal materials into your hands. Chapter 22: The Difficult Art of Alchemy and the Zhao Family's Abnormal Behavior. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the blink of an eye, another day passed. In the early morning, Qingshi town, Luo family land. It is located in a courtyard in the central area of Luo family. Under the stone pavilion, Luo Changfeng was holding a book called Introduction to Alchemy at this time, and he was flipping through it with a serious expression, although he didn't know why that little girl Luo Yue acted like this. But what he knew was that if he wanted to extend the life of that little girl, at this stage, the only way is, he forcibly suppressed the extreme and bone-chilling coldness in the little girl's body. He could only suppress the extreme and bone-chilling coldness. That little girl has a chance to survive the next full moon night. In my previous life, it seemed quite simple for the protagonist in the novel to earn money by making alchemy, weapon refining or other sub-jobs. Finally, it's time to learn how to make alchemy. For 3 days in a row, I couldn't even touch the threshold of getting started with alchemy. Luo Changfeng sighed helplessly. Then he casually threw the book Introduction to Alchemy in his hand on the stone table. His original idea was to study the art of alchemy to the introductory stage first, then, by consuming the qi and blood of the clansmen, he would improve his cultivation to the level of viscera refining above bone refining, first solve the problem of insufficient longevity, and then solve the problem of Luo Yue, the little girl. But if it is, judging by today's pace, the problems of cultivation and longevity are easy to solve. But there is a problem with the little girl Luo Yue. It seems impossible to say for sure. No matter what, do your best. If it really doesn't work. Luo Changfeng murmured in a low voice, and a hint of helplessness flashed through his slightly cloudy eyes. After shaking his head, he picked up the book Introduction to Alchemy on the stone table. He opened it and slowly read through it. The reason why Qingshi town is called Qingshi town, the main reason is that the area near Qingshi town is rich in bluestone veins. Therefore, this small town was named Qingshi town. However, due to years of mining and exploration, the bluestone veins near Qingshi town have been discovered. Basically, everything has its own place either from the Luo family, or from the Zhao family, and the top-quality bluestone vein that was only discovered recently and is about 300 meters long is an exception. Father, those people in the Zhao family seem to be acting a little abnormally today. Outside Qingshe town, a large temporary tent was set up near a top-quality bluestone vein that was about 300 meters long. One was muscular, but not exaggerated, a young man with a handsome and fair face, but without losing his masculinity. He was standing silently in the center of this large tent. He frowned slightly and whispered to his father Luo Yong in front of him with a slightly serious expression. Abnormal? Luo Yong heard this and asked with some confusion, "What's abnormal?" "Father, it was fine the past few days, but today there are quite a few people from the Zhao family appearing near this top-quality bluestone vein." "I doubt it," the boy whispered, but he hadn't finished speaking yet. The figure is as strong as a tiger and a wolf, sitting quietly on the main seat. Luo Yong is recognized by the outside world as the strongest person in the Luo family. He waved his hand casually and said with a smile, "What's abnormal about this? Our Luo family and the Zhao family are respectively responsible for mining and selling the bluestone veins near Qingshe town. Both we and the Zhao family know how valuable a top-grade bluestone vein is, about 300 meters long. So, it is understandable that the Zhao family still has nostalgia for this top-quality bluestone vein. In the next period of time, we just need to guard this vein of top-quality bluestone. Why bother with other things?" After saying that, Luo Yong ignored his son. "It's time to eat, it's time to drink. Anyway, live how you want to live, as long as this top-quality bluestone vein, which is about 300 meters long, is still in the hands of the Luo family. Even if some people from the Zhao family appear near this top-grade bluestone vein, what can it do? Is it possible that those people from the Zhao family still want to take action against Luo Yong and their Luo family?" As for the young man with a strong body, handsome and fair appearance without losing masculinity, after his father ignored him, he could only helplessly shake his head and walked out of the large tent. "Hoo. As soon as I walked out of the tent, bursts of cold wind with a slightly icy feel hit me. At this time, autumn has gradually passed, winter is not far away among the 4 seasons of the year. My father's character is still the same." After the young man named Luo Changfeng lifted his collar, he couldn't help but sigh slightly. Although his father was right, as long as the Luo family can hold on to this top-quality bluestone vein, it will be fine. But now, the biggest problem is, there must be a reason why the Zhao family suddenly behaved so abnormally today. If the Luo family doesn't take precautions against this, by accident, the Zhao family got hit by a mistake and was unable to defend against it, that matter is a bit big. Perhaps I should have someone tell my uncle the news. Although the father, uncle, and second uncle can't get along with each other. But at least, in the face of such a big right and wrong, everyone in the Luo family should work together. Otherwise, the future of the family will be worrying. In a blink of an eye, the time came to noon. A scorching sun hung high in the sky, casting down relatively warm sunshine, temporarily dispelling the chill brought about by the end of autumn. "Master, this is the news that Master Qingshan wants his subordinates to tell." Qingshe town, the land of the Luo family, there was a charcoal fire burning in a relatively warm room. The elite servant of the Luo family, who is quite strong, he was lowering his head slightly and cupping his hands. He said with a rather respectful expression, "Is the Zhao family's abnormal behavior?" After Luo Ping thought for a moment, he waved his hand and whispered, "I already know about this, please step back." "Yes." The elite servant in the room cupped his hands. He turned around and quickly left the room, and as the servant gradually moved away, he even disappeared from Luo Ping's sight. Luo Chuan is hidden in a corner of the room. Then he slowly walked out and sat quietly beside his father quite casually. "Chuaner, regarding the Zhao family's abnormal behavior. What do you think the Zhao family means?" Luo Ping, who had pondered for a long time but got nothing, turned his head in confusion. He threw this question to his extremely outstanding and highly intelligent son. The answer to this question is simple. Luo Chuan picked up a cup of hot tea next to him, put it to his mouth, and took a sip. Then, he thought for a moment. After organizing the language, he whispered, "The reason why the Zhao family did such an abnormal behavior is just because they couldn't help it anymore." Chapter 23 Luo Changfeng, those who dare to provoke the Luo family will always have to pay. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A certain price. Can't bear it anymore. Luo Ping frowned slightly. He didn't understand what Luo Chuan said. Luo Chuan also seemed to notice the confusion on his father's face. He smiled slightly and asked in a low voice to his father beside him, "Father, do you still remember Dr. Wang Kuan? What does this matter have to do with Wang Kuan?" "Father, there is a very important message that you may not have noticed." "Very important information." After hearing this, Luo Ping's slightly frowned brows couldn't help but frown even deeper, until, after he pondered for a long time, in his mind, an important piece of information that he had ignored vaguely emerged. That is, about half a month ago, Wang Kuan once came to the Luo family and saw his ancestor Changfeng, and now, since Wang Kuan has joined the Zhao family, he became the Zhao family's dedicated family doctor. Then, the Zhao family will learn the news that their ancestor is approaching his end and will die soon. Moreover, the Zhao family can rely on Wang Kuan's judgment to accurately calculate the approximate time when their ancestor died. Now, the reason why the Zhao family, one of the four major families in Qingshe town, behaves in such an abnormal manner, it is very likely that this will be a test of the Luo family by the Zhao family. If it was the Zhao family's temptation, the Luo family would remain unmoved. Then what the Luo family will face next, it was the Zhao family's stormy attack. So, Chuaner, what you are saying is that the Zhao family feels that our Luo family has concealed the news of the death of Patriarch Changfeng. After Luo Ping came to his senses, he looked at Luo Chuan beside him silently. That's probably it. Luo Chuan nodded silently. Chuaner, what do you think our Luo family should do next to deal with the Zhao family's temptation? One word, hit. Hit? Luo Ping frowned again. He felt that his brain was running out of energy. The Zhao family's behavior this time is just a test, which shows that the Zhao family is not sure about the real situation on our Luo family's side. As for the Zhao family's temptation, the best solution is to cut off the hand that the Zhao family wants to reach out to. If the Zhao family dared to stretch out one hand, they would chop off one of their hands. If they dared to stretch out two hands, they would chop off both of their hands. Only by showing the absolute strength of our Luo family can we repel the Zhao family. Shock all the family forces in Qingshe town who covet our Luo family. Our Luo family can live a stable life in Qingshe town. As Luo Chuan's words fell, the room gradually fell into a dead silence. No wonder Luo Ping didn't react for a moment. The main reason is that the amount of information contained in Luo Chuan's words is too great. Moreover, this is about an entire family. It's not about him, Luo Ping, or Luo Chuan. So, regarding this matter, as the current head of the Luo family, Luo Ping must think carefully about this. Father, please think about this carefully. I'm leaving first. Luo Chuan stood up, said something to his father Luo Ping beside him, then turned around and left the room. In the room, Luo Ping was sitting quietly on the main seat. After his son Luo Chuan left for a long time, he finally came back to his senses. Perhaps, I should discuss this matter with Patriarch Changfeng. While Luo Ping was thinking, he reached out and picked up the cup of hot tea next to him, but I don't know if it's because of too much pressure or what. His hands holding the ceramic teacup started to tremble slightly inadvertently. Call. 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 It wasn't until Luo Ping took deep breaths several times that his slightly trembling hands felt better. Zhao family, why do you have to do this? In Qingshe town, the four major families have coexisted for more than 300 years. Isn't it good to live in peace? Qingshe town, the land of the Luo family, outside the courtyard where ancestor Changfeng lives, Luo Ping looked at the yard in front of him. He hesitated for a moment, and finally walked into the yard. Not long after entering the courtyard, Luo Ping was under the stone pavilion in the courtyard. I saw the person holding a book that seemed to be, The Art of Alchemy, and flipping through it. Ancestor Changfeng wants to study the art of alchemy? Or do you want to study whether there is a way to save Yue? Looking at the Changfeng ancestor in front of him, all kinds of thoughts kept tumbling in Luo Ping's mind. Luo Ping. What does this guy want to do when he comes here suddenly? After noticing someone, Luo Changfeng put down the book in his hand, then he raised his head and looked at Luo Ping, who seemed a little dazed in front of him. Luo Changfeng stretched out his somewhat skinny right hand and waved it in front of his eyes. Ah! Soon, Luo Ping came back to his senses. Ancestor Changfeng. Luo Ping lowered his head slightly, his expression very respectful. Come here, this bad old man, but what do you want to tell me? Ancestor Changfeng, Luo Ping swallowed, his words were slightly choppy, his expression seemed to gradually become a little nervous, until he took a few deep breaths again. Only then did the Zhao family's abnormal behavior today and his son Luo Chuan's suggestions be explained in front of Patriarch Changfeng. A test from the Zhao family, that when Luo Changfeng heard this, his slightly cloudy eyes couldn't help but narrowed slightly. In the cloudy eyes, there were bursts of light flickering from time to time. Ancestor Changfeng, what do you think of this incident involving the Zhao family? That seeing Luo Changfeng in front of him, he didn't seem to give an answer. Luo Ping hesitated for a moment, then he asked cautiously. That little guy from Luo Chuan is right. If our Luo family wants to live a stable life in this Qingshi town, it is necessary to give some deterrent to those families in Qingshi town who covet our Luo family. As for the Zhao family, Luo Ping said, suddenly paused for a moment. He glanced at Luo Ping beside him, who seemed a little at a loss. Luo Changfeng stretched out his hand and slowly picked up the book titled, Introduction to Alchemy, on the stone table. Open it and flip it to the position you just saw. After a moment of silence, Luo Changfeng said in a slightly cold voice, as for the Zhao family, just do what that little guy Luo Chuan said. If the Zhao family dares to stretch out a hand, one of his hands will be cut off. If the Zhao family dares to stretch out two hands, they will chop off both of their hands. If you dare to provoke our Luo family, you will always have to pay a certain price. After speaking, Luo Changfeng focused his attention on the book in his hand. Why, besides this matter, do you have anything else you want to tell me? Luo Changfeng noticed that Luo Ping beside him had not left, so, he glanced at Luo Ping beside him and asked in a low voice. No, no more. Luo Ping came back to his senses and shook his head. He quickly turned around and left the courtyard of Changfeng Ancestor. Chapter 24. It's time to show off the Luo family's butcher knife. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After the matter was settled soon, Luo Ping informed Luo Yong of this decision, who was stationed near the top-grade bluestone vein that was about 300 meters long, and when Luo Yong learned the news, his expression was also quite surprised. Are you sure this letter was sent to you by that guy from Luo Ping? That there is a large tent near a top-quality bluestone vein that is about 300 meters long, sitting casually on the main seat. His figure was as strong as a tiger or a wolf. You can tell at a glance that Luo Yong has terrifying power. He looked at the very familiar handwriting on the letter in his hand. He looked at the Luo family servant in front of him in disbelief. Sir, this letter is indeed given to you by the head of the family. The servant of the Luo family lowered his head slightly and bent his waist. His expression looked quite respectful, not to mention whether this servant of the Luo family has the courage to deceive Luo Yong. Just looking at the very familiar handwriting on the letter, Luo Yong should be able to absolutely believe that this letter must have been written by that guy Luo Ping himself. However, judging from his understanding and knowledge of his eldest brother Luo Ping, his eldest brother, the head of the family, probably didn't have such courage. The four major families coexist, and the water in the well does not interfere with the water in the river. This was the lifelong pursuit of his eldest brother, the head of the family, but now, his eldest brother, the head of the family, who has a timid personality, suddenly changed his normal behavior and asked him to take action against the Zhao family members who were near the veins of top-quality bluestone. I don't understand, I really don't understand. However, that's it for now. It doesn't matter whether he understands it or not. The important thing is that he can finally show off the butcher knife that belongs to their Luo family. This period of forbearance made Luo Yong a little bit frustrated. Okay, back off. In the large tent, Luo Yong waved to the Luo family servant in front of him. Then, he called over an elite servant of the Luo family. Let him call his son Luo Qingshan, who inherited his outstanding cultivation talent. Father, I wonder why you asked me to come here. Inside a large tent with a charcoal fire burning and a very comfortable temperature, Luo Qingshan, a handsome young man wearing a gray outfit, just walked into the tent. Then he silently raised his head and took a look at his father's face. I think there's something you need to know. Luo Yong looked at the figure in front of him. He was strong but not particularly exaggerated. The face is handsome and fair, yet masculine. At the same time, his son Luo Qingshan's strength has reached the late stage of leather refining, a look of satisfaction flashed across his eyes, there was a slight smile on the rough face. "What's the matter?" Luo Changfeng asked with some confusion. "I have made a decision to wipe out all the Zhao family members nearby late at night tonight. I want all the people of the Zhao family who dare to approach this top-quality bluestone vein to be buried in the thick loess." Luo Yong's voice, although not very loud, but it easily reached the ears of everyone in the tent. For a moment, Luo Changfeng was stunned. In this large tent, there was a rare silence, crunch. When the charcoal fire was burning, the sound of the charcoal exploding under the high temperature gradually sounded in this tent. Father, at this moment, Luo Changfeng, who was located in the center of the tent, finally came to his senses. "Father, are you sure you really want to do this? In this Qingshi town, the situation in our Luo family is already a bit precarious. If it is at such a critical moment, our Luo family will return," Luo Changfeng said with some excitement. Only this time, he hadn't finished speaking yet. Luo Yong was sitting quietly on the main seat, supporting his head with his right hand and his eyes half open and half closed, but he directly interrupted his outstanding son's tirade. "Changfeng, there is one more thing I forgot to tell you. It's really my decision when to take action. But the idea of taking action against the Zhao family was not an idea that suddenly popped up in my mind. My eldest brother, the head of the family, your uncle, informed me of this matter. I know that when it comes to using my brain, I may not be as good as you. But at least, in this moment of family crisis, I will not attack others easily. Okay, this matter is settled. You need to prepare a little bit. When we really want to take action, I will have someone notify you. Back off." After a while, Luo Changfeng exited the large tent. As soon as he left the tent, he could clearly feel it. The gusts of cold wind were like knives, blowing towards his face. In this way, his brain became temporarily clearer, but even so, even though the brain is much clearer, his thoughts were still extremely chaotic. He didn't understand why his uncle, who had always sought stability, suddenly gave such an order to his father. Why must the Luo family wipe out all the nearby Zhao family members? Yes, the Zhao family's behavior today is a little abnormal, but if it was just because of this, it was decided to wipe out all the Zhao family members near the top-quality bluestone veins. Is this behavior a bit excessive? Is this behavior really the best choice? I don't understand. Luo Changfeng really doesn't understand. As time flows, soon, it was late at night. At this time, a bright crescent moon hung high in the sky, casting down bursts of soft moonlight. "Master, the time is almost up, why don't we take action?" Outside Qingshi town, near a top-grade bluestone vein about 300 meters long, outside a large tent, one was dressed in black and had a sharp blade tied to his waist, the leader of an elite servant who possesses the advanced stage of bone refining. Luo Yong, who was silently facing his side, who didn't know what he was waiting for, asked aloud. "Is it almost time?" Luo Yong turned his head and glanced at the person next to him who had been with him since he was a child. He is a partner, and he is also the servant Luo Zhong whom he trusts the most and personally named him. Luo Yong couldn't help but smile, and then raised his head slightly, looking towards the bright crescent moon in the sky and the thick clouds getting closer and closer to the crescent moon. "No, the time has not come yet. Wait until the thick cloud layer completely covers the bright crescent moon. Wait until that crescent moon can no longer shed its soft moonlight. Only until then is the best time for us to take action." Chapter 25 The First Killing Experience, Zhao Wu's Uneasiness. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Time flies. In the blink of an eye, another half-hour passed. Do you think it makes sense for us to keep an eye on those people from the Luo family here? Near the top-quality bluestone vein that is more than 300 meters long, a servant of the Zhao family dressed in gray, looking at the tents one after another not far away, he couldn't help but stretched out his hand and patted the mosquitoes that were in large numbers nearby. There was a hint of complaint in his words. Who says it's not the case? Next to the Zhao family servant in gray, another servant could not help but complain when he heard this. I originally thought that the master of the family wanted us to come here for some big move. The result was unexpected. The head of the family just asked us to keep an eye on those people from the Luo family. Oh, it's really boring. Just like that, after the servants of the Zhao family said something to you and me, the sky was getting darker and darker. in addition, these people from the Zhao family have been watching here for almost a day, even some members of the Zhao family who have entered the world of cultivation. At this time, I could no longer bear the strong sleepiness that came like a tide. Brothers, what do you say? How about you let me sleep first? After I sleep for 2 or 3 hours, will I watch over the Luo family for you? A servant of the Zhao family yawned slightly, with a heavy look of sleepiness on his face. Hey, where is the person? Why don't you say anything anymore? Damn it, aren't you all already asleep? The servant of the Zhao family just wanted to turn his head and take a look at his friends near him. However, before he could turn his head, 100 forged steel sword flashing with cold light appeared on his neck. Puff, suddenly, a dull sound sounded. The 100 forged steel knife exerted a slight force, just pulling it in one stroke. A round head fell to the ground and was still rolling slowly. Red and hot blood splashed everywhere. Luo Changfeng had no time to dodge, and a large amount of blood spattered onto his face, and, on his lips, the taste of blood is a little sweet, a little fishy, and a little bit like rust. Luo Changfeng didn't particularly like this taste. This was his first time killing someone with a knife. He originally thought that killing someone would be a difficult thing for him. He thought that before killing someone, he needs to be mentally prepared. Even after killing people, there will be the so-called nausea feeling in the legend, but after experiencing this killing experience, Luo Changfeng suddenly discovered that killing people did not seem to be as difficult as imagined. He just slightly raised the 100 forged steel sword in his hand, apply a slight force to someone else's neck and pull it. The man's entire head was cut off by him. How does it feel to kill someone for the first time? Just when Luo Changfeng was still a little stunned, Luo Yong, who had eliminated everyone else, suddenly appeared behind his outstanding son, Luo Changfeng. His eyes were slightly narrowed, silently paying attention to his silent son Luo Changfeng. It seems much simpler than I thought. Luo Changfeng stretched out his right hand and wiped the blood on his face. He turned his head silently and glanced at his father calmly. He took another look at the dozens of corpses of Zhao family members lying nearby. He bowed his head slightly to his father, cupped his hands, and then left the place. Master him. Beside Luo Yong, Luo Zhong, the leader of the family, looked at the figure of his young master who seemed to be a little lonely. After swallowing his saliva, he hesitated for a moment before speaking out. It's okay, don't pay attention to him. Changfeng is my son, I believe he can digest all this on his own. Luo Yong looked at the figure of his son Luo Changfeng going there. He whispered expressionlessly, this world is inherently cold and cruel. In troubled times, human life is worth more than grass. I want to survive in such a troubled world and live a good life, so that the people around me can live a better life than others, having enough power, and a heart that is hateful enough and cold enough. These are all must-haves. Have you checked everything? There should be no fish that slipped through the net, right? After being silent for a long time, Luo Yong silently raised his head and looked at the sky that was no longer covered by clouds. Once again, the bright and graceful appearance appears in the eyes of the world. He couldn't help but exhale a long puff of white mist. Luo Zhong asked in a low voice to the most trusted servant beside him, who was also the leader of the household. Don't worry, sir, nothing will slip through the net. A cold light flashed in Luo Zhong's eyes, and he replied in a low voice. Okay, if that's the case, then you can ask the servants to clean up these corpses. I don't want to see such a bloody scene when I wake up tomorrow. Yes, sir. The next day, early in the morning, the sky is still gray, there is still a moist and slightly earthy smell in the air. Qingshe town, the land of the Zhao family. Zhao Wu, the current head of the Zhao family, had already woken up early. He came to the room where he specialized in handling family affairs, sitting quietly on the throne, silently handling the trivial affairs of the family. I don't know why, today, he still feels a little uneasy. It was as if something big had happened but he didn't know about it yet. Come on. After about another 10 or 20 minutes of dealing with family affairs, Zhao Wu finally couldn't bear the unknown uneasiness in his heart and called a servant of the Zhao family. He wanted to ask if anything happened in the Zhao family in Qingshe town recently that he didn't know about yet. Has anything happened in the Zhao family in Qingshe town recently that I don't know about? Zhao Wu had a calm face and asked the servant in front of him in a low voice with a slightly hoarse voice. Master, recently. The servant lowered his head slightly and spoke carefully. However, the more the servant of the Zhao family spoke, the uglier Zhao Wu's face became. until the servant of the Zhao family finished speaking. The gloominess on Zhao Wu's face still did not dissipate. Is that all? Besides, is there nothing else? Zhao Wu looked at the servant in front of him with a somewhat cold expression. The servant of the Zhao family fell to his knees on the ground at first, his body trembling slightly, don't know what to say next. Then he suddenly seemed to remember something. He quickly raised his head and said eagerly to Zhao Wu in front of him, yes, there is one more thing. Those who were sent out yesterday to keep an eye on the Luo family don't know why, but they didn't come back with any news this morning. Are you sure? Zhao Wu's face became increasingly ugly. Indeed, sure, I don't dare to deceive the head of the family with such a thing. The servant of the Zhao family knelt on the ground. There was a slight tremor between the words. Chapter 26 Zhao Wu's Anger, the Great Talent Sun Sheng. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qingshe Town, the land of the Zhao family, in a slightly dark room. Zhao Wu, the current head of the Zhao family, was sitting quietly on the throne. His face was a little gloomy. The atmosphere in this room seems to have gradually become more and more depressing as time goes by. Master, there is news. A middle-aged man dressed in black, who specializes in seeking information for the Zhao family, suddenly appeared in this room. What's going on? Zhao Wu looked at the person in front of him and asked in a hoarse voice. Those who were sent out to wander near the veins of top-grade bluestone are all dead. All dead? Zhao Wu suddenly widened his eyes. In addition to the strong look of anger in his eyes, there was also a bit of surprise and an expression of disbelief. Are you sure that all the people I sent out are dead? Zhao Wu seemed a little unbelievable. The man in black nodded silently. Who did it? The Luo family. Although Zhao Wu already had an object of suspicion in his heart, that he couldn't believe it, he really couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe that the Luo family, which was already in a precarious situation, dared to do such a thing. The master of the family, it was Luo Yong of the Luo family who made the move. My subordinates have investigated and found that there are no signs of too chaotic fighting near the top-quality bluestone vein that is about 300 meters long. It seems like just a moment. All the people hiding near the veins of top-quality bluestone will die. It's like there's no chance to fight back. As soon as these words came out, the atmosphere in the room gradually became more and more depressing. It was so depressing that it made me feel uncomfortable and breathless. I already know about this. You, please step back first. Zhao Wu gritted his teeth, suppressed the anger in his heart, and whispered to the person in front of him. Yes, head of the family. The man in black lowered his head slightly and quickly disappeared into this room, and the man in black gradually left. Zhao Wu was the only one left in this room. Zhao Wu couldn't restrain the anger in his heart and smashed all the teacups and teapots beside him. He didn't even hold back and overturned the wooden table in front of him. Qingshe Town, Luo family. How dare they? How dare they do this? Are they really not afraid that this will cause a series of chain reactions? All kinds of questions kept popping up in Zhao Wu's mind. The anger in my heart also passed with the passage of time. Gradually it burned more and more vigorously. Even when the anger in his heart was burning at its strongest, he thought about revealing all his trump cards. The Qingshe Zhenluo family was wiped out in one fell swoop. However, Zhao Wu finally calmed down. What he represents is not just himself, he also represents the Zhao family in Qingshe Town. Although, he always thought, the situation of the Luo family in Qingshe Town was in a precarious state, and there was a possibility of being exterminated at any time. But no matter what, the Luo family is still one of the 4 major families in Qingshe Town. Its strength is not bad. Now is not the best time to disturb the Luo family. Daddy, just as Zhao Wu was thinking about how he should deal with the Luo family next, his unsatisfactory son Zhao Qian, suddenly he jogged into the room. However, when Zhao Qian just entered the room and saw the chaotic scene, Zhao Qian was dumbfounded. What the hell? What's going on? Been robbed? Zhao Qian looked at the extremely chaotic scene around him, and then looked at his father with a puzzled expression. It seems that he wants to get an answer from his father's mouth. When Zhao Wu saw this, he turned around immediately. He had no intention of giving Zhao Qian an answer. What do you want to do when you come to my place? Isn't it because you have spent all your money again and you want me to give you some more? Dad, what are you talking about? When Zhao Qian heard this, he immediately felt unhappy. is this the image I have in your mind? Is not it? That Zhao Wu turned his head, put his hands behind his back, and silently looked at the playboy's son Zhao Qian in front of him. A look of helplessness flashed through his eyes. Everyone says that a tiger father has no sons, but this is not the case in Zhao Wu's family. Dad, I really didn't come here this time to ask you for money, or to ask you to help me solve trouble. I am here this time to bring you a talent. As he spoke, Zhao Qian suddenly turned his head and shouted loudly to the man waiting silently outside the room, "Then who is here?" Sun Sheng, right? Come in quickly." After Zhao Qian finished speaking, a man dressed in Confucian robes and holding a folding fan appeared. It seems that he is a little weak. In fact, he is a middle-aged man with powerful energy and blood. With a slight smile on his face, he walked into this room. When he saw the chaotic room in front of him, a flash of surprise flashed through Sun Sheng's eyes. Not enough. Just a moment later, he returned to normal. "Head of the Zhao family, I have long admired your name." Sun Sheng lowered his head slightly, cupped his hands, and said with a slightly respectful expression, in front of Zhao Qian, the talent he had found had appeared in front of his father. He nodded with satisfaction, and then quietly left the room. Sun Sheng, in the room, Zhao Wu looked at the middle-aged man in Confucian robes and holding a folding fan. He returned to the main position and sat down silently. He looked calmly at the strange person who suddenly appeared in front of him. Where did it come from? What are your plans next? After pondering for a moment, Zhao Wu asked in a low voice to the person in front of him. To be honest, sir, the younger one is from Huaishui County. I came here just for a future. Future? When Zhao Wu heard this, his eyes narrowed slightly. Qingshe town is not small at all, but it is not big at all. Including some refugees, there are only 80 or 90,000 at most, less than 100,000. In Qingshe town, the four major families have coexisted for more than 300 years. Why did you choose my Zhao family? Regarding this question, Sun Sheng smiled slightly. He raised his head and looked at Zhao Wusua, the head of the Zhao family in front of him for a moment. Then, he said quite confidently. Based on my feelings and my judgment, Zhao Wu asked, is that just that? Yes, my lord. Sun Sheng lowered his head slightly, responded, and then stopped talking. In the room, Zhao Wu was sitting quietly on the main seat. At this time, he was also carefully looking at the person in front of him. Sun Sheng should have some ability, dare to look at him and speak like this. His courage is naturally not bad, but there was one problem, and Zhao Wu hesitated. That is, in this troubled world, can he trust this stranger who suddenly appears in front of him? Chapter 29. The massacre begins. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the courtyard, Luo Changfeng watched the two people in front of him gradually leave. He opened his own golden finger panel. Name, Luo Changfeng. Xuanhuan, 3 days plus. Cultivation, bone refining perfection plus, 270/500. Qi and blood, 1330, -83. PS, safe and usable qi and blood is 50 points. Kung Fu, the best in the world. Fierce tiger strength, comprehension, 30% plus, the best in the world. Wind shadow step, comprehension, 4% plus, incomplete. Familiar gold finger panel. He still has only a few days left to live. It is still the perfect cultivation of bone refining. It's still the same 1330 family energy. It seems that in addition to the experience value after cultivation and the level of understanding of Fengyingbu have increased a bit, other things haven't changed much. Add all of today's 50 points of energy and blood to your cultivation. The host's thoughts are detected, 50 qi and blood are deducted. Cultivation is improving. A cold voice sounded in Luo Changfeng's mind. The mysterious and powerful power emerged in his body once again, until that mysterious energy strengthened the bones in every part of his body. That mysterious power slowly dissipated. Chaos is everywhere in the Gale dynasty, and a storm is coming. This time of forcing money will definitely overdraw the Gale dynasty's short lifespan. The real troubled times may really be coming. But fortunately, it's probably not too late. At least, before the real troubled times come, I can improve my cultivation to the state of viscera refining above bone refining. After the breakthrough in cultivation, the problem of insufficient lifespan will be completely solved. At that time, you can think carefully about the development of the family, and it's a problem with that little girl Luo You's special physique. Time flies. In the blink of an eye, 3 more days passed. During these 3 days, a small number of families seemed unable to withstand the terrifying pressure, thus the family property was sold. I saved a lot of money and handed it over. In this way, we can seek the continuation of the family in this Qingshi town. Of course, some people can't stand the pressure and hand over their money, while others want to take a gamble in order to keep their money. Just bet that General Tao Ji suddenly appeared in Qingshi town. He didn't dare to mess around. Just bet that Tao Ji didn't dare to reveal the butcher knife he was hiding silently. Mayor Yu, how is the situation? That the Bluestone town is not particularly thick, nor is it located on a particularly high city wall. The 1,000-man General Tao Ji was wearing bright silver armor. He was silently holding his hands behind his back, standing on the city wall, looking down at all the creatures in Qingshi town. Sir, most of the family forces in Qingshi town have donated money. But there is still a small group of family forces who claim that it is really difficult and there is no extra gold and silver in the family. So as Yu Jun, the current mayor of Qingshi town, spoke, his voice suddenly dropped. The failure to raise the required amount of gold and silver was indeed a lack of ability on his part. Mayor Yu, you have done your best. You don't need to take care of the rest. Tao Ji said expressionlessly, and then he waved his hand and summoned his lieutenant. After ordering the deputy general to seal all the city gates in Qingshi town, Tao Ji, who was wearing bright silver armor, brought with him the elite soldiers who were wearing dark red armor and faintly exuding evil aura. Heading in the direction of those families who claimed that it was really difficult and they had no extra gold or silver in their families, Qingshi town, the land of the Luo family. Luo Changfeng was in the courtyard, reading under the stone pavilion. Suddenly he put down the book in his hand, looking out to the courtyard. It's about to begin, that he murmured quietly. Then, he stood up and walked out of the courtyard. Qingshi town, the land of the Luo family. In the room where the head of the Luo family handles family affairs, Luo Chuan, the current young master of the Luo family, suddenly walked into this room at this time. Father, the killing has begun. Luo Chuan walked silently to his father Luo Ping and whispered to him calmly. Has the killing started? Luo Ping raised his head in confusion and frowned slightly. Father, do you want to go take a look? Luo Chuan still whispered expressionlessly. You mean, those foreign soldiers? Luo Ping seemed to have remembered something, and was finally on the same topic as his son. Father, do you want to go out and take a look? This will be an important point in time for the complete collapse of the Gale dynasty. Luo Chuan said calmly. His slightly childish face was so calm that it made people feel a little panicked. No, my father is here. There's still some things to deal with here. Still not going out. Luo Ping swallowed, suppressing the trembling and uneasiness in his heart. Is that so? Father, what a pity. Luo Chuan shook his head with some regret, then turned around and walked silently out of the room. It seems that most people have a premonition of the bloody storm that is about to happen. Therefore, even if it is clear sky and white sun, in this huge Qingshi town, the number of pedestrians on the streets is only a pitiful few. Tread. Tap tap tap. Suddenly, bursts of neat footsteps came from a distance. As time passed, such footsteps became closer and closer. Aren't you afraid of this little guy? Outside the Luo family's land, at the main entrance, Luo Changfeng looked at Luo Chuan, whose face was still a little immature. He walked forward silently, stretched out his skinny right hand, and put it on the little guy's shoulder. Instinctively, I am a little scared, but not very scared. Luo Chuan turned his head and glanced at Patriarch Changfeng beside him, who spoke calmly. Oh. Luo Changfeng narrowed his eyes slightly. He was a little interested in this little guy. This army is an absolutely elite army. The evil spirits on those soldiers are very strong. For this, I will naturally be a little afraid of this, but I know that their target is not me or the Luo family where we are. So I became a little scared, but not very scared. Luo Chuan said this expressionlessly, but when he turned his head again, looking at the somewhat pale face of his patriarch, feeling the decay and the aura of death on Patriarch Changfeng's body, his brows couldn't help but frown slightly, and there was a hint of doubt on his expressionless face. Ancestor Changfeng, you asked me a question, can I ask you a question in return? Luo Changfeng smiled enthusiastically and said, you ask. Ancestor Changfeng, as early as half a month or even a month ago, there were rumors in Qingshe town about you. Even when I'm next to you, I can clearly feel you. So I want to ask, what are you doing? Looking at Luo Chuan's curious face, Luo Changfeng couldn't help but smile. Your question is very good, but don't ask questions like this again. Chapter 30. The development of things is somewhat unexpected. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The killing is ongoing. Suddenly, bursts of shrill screams and pleas for mercy rang out in the huge Qingshe town, and the bursts of abuse, and as all the sounds gradually disappeared, in Qingshe town, a strong smell of blood slowly filled the air. Red blood flowed onto the street. They gathered into rivers of blood one after another. The heavy pressure made people feel uncomfortable and breathless. How? Can't you bear it anymore? Qingshe town, at the main entrance of the Luo family, Luo Changfeng looked at the little guy beside him, Luo Chuan, whose tender face turned slightly pale, and he couldn't help but smile. Okay. Luo Chuan gritted his teeth and replied in a low voice with a pale face, in troubled times, we should focus on stability and not take chances. However, this killing is not without its benefits. After clearing out the major family forces in Qingshe town, a large number of ownerless properties were left. Similarly, this killing also intensified the consumption of the Gale dynasty's already limited lifespan. The real troubled times are coming. Luo Changfeng spoke these words calmly. He seemed to be talking to himself, but also seemed to be talking to the little guy next to him, Luo Chuan. Ancestor Changfeng, since you said that real troubled times are about to come, for third uncle. What are your plans for the future? Suddenly, Luo Chuan turned his head, his face turned slightly pale, and he asked in a low voice to the ancestor Luo Changfeng beside him. Didn't your third uncle Luo Yong always want to go out and have a try? It's not a bad idea to fulfill his wish. Is that so? Hearing this, the little guy Luo Chuan couldn't help but raise his eyebrows slightly, although the Changfeng ancestor next to him didn't say anything, but Luo Chuan was able to analyze many meanings from this passage. Third uncle Luo Yong is the strongest person in the Luo family. His subordinates also control the strongest and most elite servants in the Luo family. Logically speaking, in this situation where real troubled times are about to come, Patriarch Changfeng should not let his third uncle Luo Yong leave the family and go out to explore. But now, my ancestor said this, it's not a bad idea to follow his wishes. If coupled with what Patriarch Changfeng just said, your question is very good, don't ask it again in the future. In this way, Luo Chuan seemed to understand something in his heart. This ancestor of their Luo family has been pretending. The so-called half-body was buried in the ground. It's all fake. Ancestor Changfeng. Luo family land. At the front entrance, Luo Chuan carefully looked at his ancestor's bloodless, wrinkled face. He suddenly called out. Anything else? Ancestor Changfeng, did anyone ever talk about you in the past? As he spoke, the little guy Luo Chuan suddenly hesitated for a moment. What did you say about me? Luo Changfeng asked. Luo Chuan, Ancestor Changfeng, has anyone ever said that you are very thoughtful? Luo Changfeng. Following Luo Changfeng and Luo Chuan, one big and one small, they looked at each other for a moment. The two couldn't help but laugh out loud at the same time. Everyone in the world says that dragons beget dragons and phoenixes beget phoenixes, you little guy. It's completely different from your father. After saying that, Luo Changfeng turned around silently and put his hands behind his back. He walked silently in the direction of his own courtyard. Now, the killings have gradually stopped. This farce has come to an end. Then, there is no need for him to stay here and watch the show. As time flows, just a moment later, Luo Changfeng disappeared from Luo Chuan's sight. If the truth of the matter is not much different from my speculation. So, this is the real troubled family in Qingshe town. It seems that it is not the Luo family where I am. It's the Qingshe Zhao family. Of course, in addition to this, there is another thing that Luo Chuan is more concerned about. That was what happened to the Hu family, one of the four major families in Qingshe town. Logically speaking, at that time point, if the object of the Hu family is not his sister Luo Yue, perhaps, this marriage has already been completed. But now, pity, the Hu family, one of the four major families in Qingshe town, seemed not to know what kind of opportunity they had missed. Want to see my Luo family building collapse? The Hu family may not have this opportunity. The next day, early morning hours, when the sky is still gray, as the ancestor of the Luo family, Luo Changfeng once again walked out of the Luo family, tread. Tap tap tap, the sound of neat footsteps is still heard continuously in Qingshe town, and the sound of footsteps can also explain one thing: the elite soldiers belonging to the Gale dynasty have not left yet. The smell of blood is really strong. Outside the Luo family's land, there was a lonely street without any pedestrians. Luo Changfeng looked at Qingshe town, the extremely thick blood mist that seemed unable to dissipate in a short period of time. His brows couldn't help but frown slightly. The development of this matter seemed to be somewhat beyond his expectation. If it is just to kill those family forces that cannot produce gold or silver, this matter should be over by now. There would not be such a thick blood mist condensed in the void of Qingshe town. But now that such a situation has occurred, it can only mean one thing: the soldiers in Qingshe town tasted the sweetness and the pleasure of fishing for gold and silver. As a result, I couldn't control my excitement. Some couldn't stop the butcher knife in their hands. Which family in Qingshe town does the clan land over there belong to? With such a huge building scale, I think it will be very rich, right? In Qingshe town, on a street not far from the Luo family, a soldier wearing dark red iron armor, holding a blood-stained 10-forged steel sword, with a face filled with evil spirits, he was looking greedily at the large area of buildings belonging to the Luo family. He whispered to the other friends beside him, "You don't want your life. That's where the Luo family, one of the 4 most powerful families in Qingshe town, is located. That's all for other small family forces. This Luo family is not simple. If it is really because you touched the Luo family, it triggered a collision between us and the Luo family. When the time comes, the general will ask. Even if you have 10 lives, it's not enough to compensate you. Is that so? Okay, forget it.